I'm representing the taxpayer. It's got to be made available now, and there've got to be real consequences if there is further slippage. Have you got the minutes for those meetings? In my experience of government, Mr. Pocklington, most things are minuted to the nth degree. So did your department not minute those meetings? What data do you hold, basically, on the correlation between foreign nationals and medical malpractice taking place within the NHS? Yes, James, I was listening to your introduction. You talked about missing data. What is the definition of missing data? So how many illegal migrants have absconded or gone missing from Home Office accommodation in the past 5 years? I mean, do you know the answer to that?
There is this was something that was looked into by the ICIBI recently, and in due course that report will be published. So
I'll take it you don't know that. Well, I think that's all very well, Conrad, but at the end of the day, what is the sanction on local authorities for not populating this data? Is there any?
The statutory requirement on them to meet the backstop.
And if they don't, as I said previously, we would engage, we have and will publish the list of those that are non-compliant.
So the timed, so the data for that period from that entity has not been submitted.
How can you claim to be improving productivity when police forces are being loaded with immigration tasks you don't measure, you don't report, and you can't quantify? With all this mess, now is not the time to have an uncertain situation. I think you were due to have this report out, was it in September? And you're hoping to have this structure out in January? Is that it was January? I mean, when are we going to see it?
The white paper.
I've seen there's a white paper, but when are we actually going to have a firm structure so everybody knows what's happening? So you two are leading this still.
Yes.
One from marketing, and in my experience, marketing people should never be anywhere near systems implementation. It didn't take me very long to find out that many in Whitehall and the media call you the Queen of Woke. But it's driven, I think, by your championing of and proactive implementation of high-paying DEI roles within the civil service. So I had a quick look, and in 21-2, the police forces spent 15 million on DEI, and there were 147 DEI officers. Whether they're highly paid or lowly paid, I leave that to everybody to judge. In 23-4, there are 197. So the DEI virus is growing within the police force.
There are very safe systems for people to speak up, and they do not suffer any harm as a result of doing so through our freedom to speak up system.
Clearly these people don't agree.
Well, I think, so I wouldn't want to be considered part of a wokerati, but I mean, we are very animated about issues around inequalities and so on.
You must look at all this data. You can't fear being called racist or anything else. We need raw data for the taxpayer's benefit and also for the patient's benefit. So it does seem to be from top to bottom a mess. I read of procurement errors, I read of a lack of planning, I read of a lack of expertise. The Ofwat is dysfunctional, I think the DEFRA is dysfunctional, I think the Environment Agency is dysfunctional. So put them all together, you end up with one big mess. Of 407 local authorities that should have submitted audited information into the WGA, 167 or 41% didn't submit data at all. A further 55% or 224 submitted data based on unaudited accounts. Only 16 or 4% of English local authorities submitted adequate audited data. I've asked 610 questions of the Home Office since the election. Hundreds were data related. Of those, roughly 90% of the time, there was no data. And I ask these simple questions, I never get an answer. I mean, 610 questions, 90% with no data.
Okay,
Where is the data? Where is it? We've literally had hundreds of NHS staff whistleblowers, I mean hundreds, who've contacted us about the lack of English language causing issues, as well as foreign staff not holding appropriate skills and qualifications. I listened to this conversation and I have a concern that the skill and knowledge base, both within the civil service and within the ministerial pool, which I look at with horror, is not capable of actually holding the public's corner. Splurge of taxpayers' money, which was easily avoidable. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again and expecting a different result. So are we going to make progress and sort this out, or are we going to be having this conversation when you next come before the committee? Surely we must drill down and we must find out why this is happening. As you probably know, I've set up something called Restore Britain.
We've got the message there.